Our next guest is the acclaimed soprano Helen Hancock, who's returning to Ennis later this month to launch a new album, Togetherness. Helen will be joined by the pianist Paul Cibis for a special concert in the atmospheric setting of St Columba's Church of Ireland here in Ennis on the 31st of January, which is a Saturday. And Helen's had a hugely successful year of performances and tours, and we appreciate her joining us this morning. Helen, good morning to you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on.
So you're going to be bringing Togetherness to Ennis at the end of the month, but before we get to that, talk to us a bit about your career and how it's really grown from strength to strength.
Yeah, so it all started, well, it didn't all start, but the connection with this pianist in Germany started after the pandemic. I said to my husband, I need to go on a holiday and I need to get out of here in 2021. And an Irish Times article suggested that Berlin would be a good place to bring teenagers.
Great city.
So we went to Berlin first time, and I asked a friend who's a conductor, Sinead, did she know any vocal coaches there? So I did a bit of vocal coaching while I was there on holidays, and that started this chain of events that's led to today. So I continued to work with coaches there and then jumped on from one to the next. And then Gerhard, my German language coach, introduced me to Paul, the pianist, who's his best friend. And immediately I thought, oh wow, how to explain when a singer and a pianist play together or make music together, sometimes you just have someone you can read, like
because that's what I was going to ask you. There are certain musicians who come together and there's just magic, like Lennon McCartney, or like when Miles Davis played with Bill Evans and people like that. It just sounds much better than with anybody else. Did you both recognise that straight away?
Well, I certainly did, and I think Gerhard, who introduced me to his friend, had that up in his sleeve. That was why he introduced us, to be honest. And then I said, I want to work with this guy, but I mean, how am I going to make this happen? And then this application came. They wanted to have a season of Irish events in Germany in 2024, which was supposed to have happened before the pandemic, but that put the kibosh on it. So the timing was really good, and I applied. I said, let's cook up a concert that would be a marriage of Ireland and Germany and whatever, and we cooked up the concert, applied for the money and got the money. It's really hard to get money, to get funding from any of these. It was from Culture Ireland, and so we did a concert in Germany, and at that stage I had got the basic income for artists. I don't know if you've talked about this on radio.
Yeah, we have,
before.
yeah.
I'm
sure you'd like it to be more, but it was beneficial, and certainly
it was life-changing.
There were artists who didn't get on it. So
heartbreaking for those who didn't, and extremely lucky for those who did. And a lot of people don't talk about it if they've got it, because they're kind of embarrassed and they feel bad for the people who didn't get it. But in the end I decided, no, I'm going to go public about this, because it's important that people know that I was able to make this album because I had that money, because making an album costs an absolute fortune. And so that's how it came about, because we had this programme and we'd new music by Irish composers, we'd new music in the Irish language. It was really unusual selection of music, and this deserves to be recorded. And so I just closed my eyes like in a roller coaster ride. I went, oh my God, this is going to cost a fortune, and just did it anyway.
Oh, well, look, it turned out well. And you mentioned earlier on, Helen, you have a German, or had a German language coach. How good is your German? This really came to my mind when I was reading about the album and the song cycle, and because I did French at school, not German, and I then moved to a school where they did both, so I'd have to sit there and do other stuff while they're doing German, and it just sounded like double Dutch to me. So apologies if I murdered this, but Frauen, Liebe und Leben?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Okay,
no, I did French in school as well, like you, and I could have done German, but I chose French. And
did you regret that choice once you got together on this album?
In college I did a year of beginner German, and not realising that later on it would come in really, really handy. Because I didn't study music originally. I studied engineering. Completely
very different. Yeah.
And after kids, I had imposter syndrome. It was grand for the years I did it, but after kids, I said, right, back to music. Thank you.
But we're talking about German there, but you also include Irish songs and musical theatre favourites.
Oh yeah. So the German is just one part, but Frauenliebe und Leben is a very well known for people who are into their Schumann, because it tells a love story between Clara and Robert Schumann, which is a very famous love story in classical music. But no, we have look, Irish audiences need to hear things that they know as well as stuff that they don't know, and any well balanced programme has a mix. So yeah, I have Summertime from Porgy and Bess, and I have Somewhere from West Side Story, and I have a mad crazy the final aria is called Adelaide's aria. It's a bridezilla going absolutely bananas before her wedding. It's just really bold and very not politically correct. So no, it's a good mix. It's not all highfalutin stuff, but yeah, no, the thing is we really do connect, and I think when you see artists that connect really well, it's that they can kind of read each other's minds musically. Like the other day, because I'm just back from Berlin, and we were rehearsing, and he played a wrong note on the piano, and I sang the same wrong note with him, which was a weird thing to do, but like that
shows your musical connection.
Yeah,
and I suppose if you follow him, is it less noticeable as a mistake if you're both doing it, or does it double down on the mistake?
Well, I don't know, but it just means that like you'll rehearse things to a certain degree, but when you're in front of an audience, that's when the magic happens, and you can just get very emotionally involved in a song. Like for example, this Summertime in Porgy and Bess, that's sung twice in the actual musical or in the opera, and people don't know that. Mostly they hear the radio version, but the first time it's sung by the mother to her little baby as a lullaby, but the second time the parents of the baby are dead, and somebody else is left holding the baby, and she's repeating the same song, but now it comes with a completely different meaning because she's now kind of telling a lie to the baby. It's really sad, but like with something that emotional, when you're in front of an audience, that's when you might just decide to really go for something, and you might just spend a bit longer on a certain place or whatever. And if you have that connection with your pianist, you can do that, and you're going to be together no matter what, so you can take risks.
You both clearly have a connection. I think that's going to be wonderful for people to see on the 31st. St. Columba's Church, you performed there before, albeit
back in the
during COVID
days,
so I'm sure you'll have a much bigger audience that aren't spaced what was it, 6 feet apart or 2 meters?
I think it was 2020 or 2021 that we did a concert there, and people had to be spaced, and it was spooky.
You'll have a bigger crowd on the 31st, there's no doubt about that.
Please God. Hope.
Helen, thanks so much for coming in. If people want to get tickets for the performance, where can they get them? It's on Eventbrite. So if you Google, the name of the concert is Togetherness, and if you Google Togetherness Helen Hancock, it'll come up on Eventbrite for sure. And there's 3 of them. So there's one in Cork. There's one. We're starting in Ennis, then there's Galway the next day, then we're in Cork School of Music a couple of days later, and finally in the Goethe Institute in Dublin. So just make sure you book the right one. Brilliant. The Ennis one. To book the Ennis one. Just before you go, would you mind giving us a few seconds of that wonderful voice of yours? I'll try. I got home at 2:00 in the morning from Berlin. So you keep that in mind, folks. Take it as it comes. I'll give you a few lines of Summertime to play you out into the next next guest. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. Well done. Imagine sounding like that good when you got off a flight at 2 a.m. from Berlin. That's brilliant stuff. Helen. Not bad at all. Thank you very much. You can check out Helen with Paul Cibis at St. Columba's Church in Ennis on the 31st of January. Helen Hancock, brilliant stuff. Thanks you very much.